What's up everybody and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be doing our it's already August. Today we're going to be doing our August TBR. So we're going to be showing you guys all the books that we want to read in August. Sometimes it's a little bit comedic because it doesn't usually work out that way. But these are the books that we have planned to read, or things that we're like, oh, I want to try to get to that this month. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you like what we're doing, and hit that notification bell if you want to be notified every time we upload a video. Alright, so the first book that I want to read this month, not literally like the first book I'm going to read, but the first book I'm going to talk about this month, is These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. I pre-ordered this book because it's supposed to be similar to A Court of Thorns and Roses, that series. It's basically about this girl who gets tied between two different fae courts, and there's a love triangle, and there's a lot at stake because her sister is either missing or held captive in one of them. So it's supposed to be like kind of romance fantasy with fae. And I'll read you what it says on the back really quick. It says, "He thinks he wants me forever, and part of me is considering it, even as if I'm betraying him. I'm the thief who's stealing from the kingdom he'd have me rule by his side. And then there are these things I feel for Fen, the way my power surges when he's close, the attraction I don't want but can't deny. Can Ronan want me if he knew any of that? Even if he did, doesn't that prove I don't deserve him?" So basically this is like a big love triangle. I think that's like the essence of this whole book. And I know there are people out there who really hate love triangles, so you probably should avoid this. But I'll definitely let you know how it is and my thoughts on it. So yeah, this is the first book I'm going to talk about today to read in August. You have judgments, I see.
I'm just going to say, is that the main character talking?
Yeah.
Is she a female or...
She's a female.
She's a female.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would like to say he don't deserve you.
Okay. Well, we'll find out who deserves who. How about that? A heart is a dangerous thing to steal. So yes.
Is that possible? Can you steal somebody's heart?
I did.
Oh my god. Okay. My first up for this month, granted this might change because schools will be starting.
Mm-hmm. I forgot to mention that.
School will be starting.
Yeah.
The 23rd for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I already know that I have 15 books, which isn't really that many.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Anyway, so this will probably change. But first up, we have Stephen King with Revival. This is a story based around the main character, who I believe is named Jamie, who's a child when a reverend and his wife come into town, and I guess they preach a really powerful sermon that changes a bunch of things in an evil way.
Oh, I might like this.
Jamie grows up to be a rock guitarist, heroin addict that comes back and has to deal with these particular revivalists again. I really like stuff that introduce like cults and religion.
True.
Especially when they're more dark, so...
Is this the book when we were at Books A Million, that guy was like, you have to read this?
Yeah,
and you already had it, or did you buy it at Books A Million?
I bought it at Books A Million.
Okay.
Because it's one of his... I think he said it's one of his newer works. I don't remember.
Yeah, so the people who checked us out at Books A Million were telling her that it was really good and that she should read it. It's like one of his favorite Stephen King
Yeah, it's like 2014,
novels.
which I guess is relatively new. But so
yeah.
I think that looks good.
Yeah.
And it's one of his shorter books. So.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's nice. Alright, so up next for me is Sky Hunter, and the sequel to this comes out in September, so I really want to try to read this in August to know if I like it enough to pre-order the sequel for September. I do tend to pre-order things even if I don't know if I'm going to like them, but I'm trying to get better at that, so I want to first read this and see if I like it, and then pre-order it. But I do like her other series, so I like her writing, I know that much. I just don't know if I'll like the premise, which is quite confusing actually. So I'll do my best to kind of describe it. Basically, it's about a group of this isn't what it's about. This is just like a little paragraph from it. Casey's trying to help me out by reading the back of it, but
wouldn't that be kind of... Isn't that going to capture the essence?
Good point. Let's listen to the woman here. Okay. My name is Talon. I am a striker for Mara, the last free nation on this side of the sea. We are legendary bringers of death, assassins of monsters, and the only thing standing between our home and
They're the only thing standing in between our home and annihilation. So they're keeping their world from being annihilated.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So yeah, that's what this is about, courtesy of Casey's help here. Yeah, so it's been on my like TBR for a while, but I want to pick it up this month before the sequel releases in September. Last thing I wanted to point out about this book is this is it without the dust jacket on, and it's written on the side. So yeah, it's a really beautiful book. Like, look at that. So I hope the sequel has something like this. It's almost worth owning just because it's like, this looks like a journal. Yeah, so I'm really excited to read it. I'll let you guys know how it is if I actually get to it. Let's hope I do. Go ahead.
So my next pick is written by Octavia Butler. It's called Wild Seed, and it looks like it's a book kind of about good and evil to a certain extent. There is a see this?
Mm-hmm.
There is a dude, an ancient spirit named Doro. I think that's how you say that. He's an ancient spirit with boundless powers. He possesses humans, killing without remorse as he jumps from body to body to sustain his own life. With a lonely eternity ahead of him, Doro breeds supernaturally gifted humans into empires that obey his every desire. He fears no one until he meets, I don't know how to say that.
Yeah. He
Anyawu?
meets someone. Yeah.
Anyawu, maybe? Who is an entity like Doro, and yet different. She can heal with a bite and transform her own body, mending injuries and reversing aging. She uses her powers to cure her neighbors and birth entire tribes, surrounding herself with kindred who both fear and respect her.
Wow.
And I guess they collide. So it kind of seems like Octavia Butler is writing kind of about the differences between love and control.
Ooh,
so
that sounds good.
Yeah. I kind of look forward to reading it. I've been wanting to read her for a while. She's a pretty popular sci-fi writer, so I really look forward to reading this.
Alright, up next for me, I always get this name wrong, because I want to say Finally, but it's Finlay. Donovan is killing it. This is basically like a comedy, it's like a comedy book. The essence of it is that she's writing her own novel, a murder novel, I believe, and someone overhears her in a restaurant talking about it, and they think that she's like a hit woman, and so they try to hire her to kill their husband, and so it's about her trying to do that, but then she ends up in like in part of the investigation. I don't know, I'm not explaining this well, but it's basically like a comedy book, and that's why I want to read it. It's a nice break from some of the other stuff that I'm going to be reading.
Does she like take it to the police and then they just say to like essentially be like wiretapping her or something?
I don't know. It says, I already described like the first part of it, but it says, when Finlay is overheard discussing the plot of her new suspense novel with her agent over lunch, she's mistaken for a contract killer and inadvertently accepts an offer to dispose of a problem husband in order to make ends meet. Finlay soon discovers that crime in real life is a lot more difficult than its fictional counterpart as she becomes tangled in a murder investigation. So yeah. Really looking forward to that little mystery novel with some comedy. So yeah.
The book that I'm going to be also trying to read is called Kill Creek.
I love that cover.
Yeah, it's really cool. Mm-hmm. It's a horror book written by Scott Thomas, and the back of it's...
Can you see?
No.
Okay, I'm just trying to hope.
At the end of a dark prairie road, nearly forgotten in the Kansas countryside, is the Finch House. For years, it has remained empty, overgrown, abandoned. Soon the door will be open for the first time in decades, but something is waiting, lurking in the shadows, anxious to meet its new guests.
Ooh, creepy.
When best-selling horror author, which that's a pretty common
Always,
trope,
yeah.
Sam McGarver is invited to spend Halloween night.
Yeah, there it is.
Just go all out here. Night in one of the world's most infamous haunted houses. He reluctantly agreed. This is like... I mean, it looks good, but this seems like...
I love it.
It's a very basic...
I love it.
So I like... One of the things that I really like in books is when an author takes something that's very common and then does it really, really well. Mm-hmm. Because it is possible. As a wise man once said, there's nothing new under the sun. So I don't mind the trope being reused as long as it's...
I hope it's good.
As long as it's done well.
Yeah.
At least he won't be alone. Joining him are three other masters of the macabre. Writers who have helped shape modern horror. But what begins as a simple publicity stunt will become a fight for survival. The entity they have awakened will follow them, torment them, threatening to make them a part of the bloody legacy of Kill Creek.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
Halloween H2O. No. Halloween
The one where
Resurrection.
in the where they're doing the fake reality
Yes,
TV show or whatever.
in the house. If you haven't seen that, it's a really good horror movie. It scares the living crap out of me, though.
Is that the one Tyra Banks is in?
Yes, yeah. That kind of reminds me of that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Next up for me is Heartstopper volumes 3 and 4. Yeah. You guys can see
Let me
them.
just get out of here.
Yeah, you just move out of here. Let Heartstopper take over. These nice covers. Heartstopper is a graphic novel series about, it's a male-male romance. It's about coming out. It's really a coming-of-age story. It's very cute. And I've done reading vlogs of the first two, and one of the things that I realized is everybody's like, one of the feedbacks I've heard about this series that's negative, there's only a few negative ones, is that, oh, well, nothing bad really happens, and that kind of just shows me that people's privilege, because this is kind of a heartbreaking story about the process of coming out, and it's told through lighthearted moments, but like if you've experienced it, you know the feeling. So yeah, I'm very thankful for this author writing this story. And yeah, I got the fourth one from the UK because it's not out here yet. And the color scheme in it's different, which kind of bothers me, but that's okay. So these will be in a reading vlog sometime next month. So yeah, if you want to see the past ones, they're already uploaded on the channel.
So the next book that I'm going to attempt to get through is called The Children of Time. This is about, I think humans have been annihilated. Yeah. Well, the last remnants of the human race left a dying Earth, desperate to find a new home following their ancestors' star maps. They discovered the greatest treasure of the past age, a world terraformed, and prepared for human life. But all's not right in this new Eden. The planet is not waiting for them, pristine and unoccupied. Ooh. New masters have turned it from a refuge into mankind's worst nightmare.
Oh, shit.
This is the first book of a trilogy, of which I have already placed in our shopping cart.
Where? On Amazon?
Yeah.
No, there's just 2 guitars in there.
You can look at it right now. I did it while we were getting these books ready. Like, I did it like 15 minutes ago or whatever. I don't even know how long has this been. Oh, I did it like 16 minutes ago.
Okay.
Anyways.
I don't have any room to talk.
No. No. Anyways, I look forward to reading this. I really like the concept. I like dystopia.
Just wait, you're gonna have to restart that last part. I knew that was gonna be a problem when I left that there.
She's a doggy girl.
Can you take that? Because even if she lays on it, it's gonna be loud.
Ripping plastic.
No, mama.
It's fantastic.
No, mama. No. Give it back to you after the video. I know.
Oh, she's very angry at you. Why would you do this to her?
Okay.
You did this. Anyways, where am I starting at?
You were just saying why you're interested in it.
Oh, I really like dystopian universes. Again, when they're done well. Again, it isn't kind of overwhelmed trope at this point, but this looks really interesting. I look forward to reading it. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like Mass Effect somewhat. I don't know why, but it just does. So, yeah. Cool.
Alright. Next up for me, as you know, last month, and it'll be in my June wrap-up as well, and I did a reading vlog for it too, I started the Infernal Devices series, so I'm looking forward to continuing this in August. I learned my lesson with the Mortal Instruments. No matter how much I love a book and characters, I should not read them back to back to back to back to back. So I am reading like 2 books in between, and then I'll read Clockwork Prince. So yeah, Clockwork Prince and Clockwork Princess.
Yeah, you get really bored when you do the same thing over.
Yeah, but if I take a break, I can still really enjoy them. So yeah, I'm hoping to finish or complete the Infernal Devices series this month. If you don't know what that is, it's a trilogy that takes place in the Shadowhunter universe with the London Institute. Characters are great. I love Shadowhunter books. So yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing those in August.
My next pick is The Once and Future Witches. I don't know why I like this kind of cover. It looks
nice.
like American traditional tattooing,
It does,
think,
yeah.
so I kind of just like that.
Yeah.
I like the aesthetic of American traditional tattoos, but it is a book about witches and who are being hunted. The description says, in 1893, there's no such thing as witches. There used to be, in the wild, dark days before the burnings began. But now witching is nothing but tidy charms and nursery rhymes. If the modern woman wants any measure of power, she must find it at the ballot box. That's interesting.
Yes, it is.
But when the Eastwood sisters, James, Juniper, Agnes, Amaranth, and Beatrice de Belladonna, join the suffragists of New Salem, they begin to pursue the forgotten words and ways that might turn the women's movement into the witches' movement. Stalked by shadows and sickness, hunted by forces that will not suffer a witch to vote, which is, for those of you who are not well-versed in the Bible, in the Bible it says that people should not suffer witches to live.
Oh, so I see.
So, yeah, it essentially condones killing witches in the Bible, which is what this is playing off of.
Yeah.
The sisters will need to delve into the oldest magics, draw new alliances, and heal the bond between them if they want to survive. There's no such thing as witches, but they will be. I'm interested in this for the gender dynamics. Again, I'll show you this one more time.
Yep.
Particular.
Nice. Sorry, this is important. It has oh, you can't see it on the camera, I don't think. It has like, oh yeah, there you go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Little book ASMR for you. And an upset wife that I interrupted her. Sorry. Here you go. It's right there for the people.
Okay. For the people. It's for the people. Anyways, I'm really interested in the gender dynamic of this, particularly with the fact that they're kind of reshaping this idea of misogynistic tropes. Not suffer a witch to live, witches always are kind of associated with women. So I look forward to reading that and seeing what this author is trying to present. But I think the author's name is Alex E. Haro. So.
Yeah, cool.
Cool. I'm cool.
You are very cool.
Very cool.
Alright, so the last one I'm going to talk about here is actually a rollover from my June TBR. July. God, I can't get these months right. This year is flying by. From my July TBR, which is One Last Stop. I'm doing a buddy read of that this month, and my friend will be coming on the channel to give her thoughts and opinions of the book as well. So yeah, definitely want to get to this month because I've been really excited about this since it released. I talked about this in my July TBR video, but I'll just quickly tell you, it's female-female romance, I believe. I don't think the main character is non-binary. Oh, I might got that wrong. I believe it's a female-female romance. How about this? I'll let you know at the end of August. But basically, it's kind of like a time-traveling thing, and like a like time-bending thing, because one person's from the 70s. But yeah, it's basically a romance novel with a little bit of fantasy elements, I guess. Yeah, I'm really excited to buddy read this in August. I love doing buddy reads. And yeah, we'll do a video about this at the end of August. Most of you probably already know what this is about, but yeah.
And my last pick is written by Lucinda Roy. It is a book called The Freedom Race.
It's a nice cover.
It is depicting a second Civil War called The Sequel. So the description of this book essentially is... got that out to you.
You want some water? Romance.
Anyways, the flap says, the Second Civil War, the sequel, came and went in the United States, leaving radiation sickness and fractures too deep to mend. One faction, the Homestead Territories, dealt with the devastation by recruiting immigrants from Africa and beginning a new slave trade, while the other two factions stood by and watched. Gigi Laudermule was bred and raised in captivity on one of the plantations in the Homestead Territories of the disunited states to serve and breed more quote-unquote mule seeds. There is only one way out, the annual Freedom Race, First Prize Freedom. Wow. An underground movement has plans to free Gigi, who unknowingly holds the key to breaking the grip of the territories. However, before she can begin to free them all, Gigi must unravel the very real voices of the dead. That
sounds really good.
Yeah, and again, I enjoy dystopians. I think that this is actually going to be a very interesting social commentary.
Has to be.
We are living through some pretty terrifying times, with a lot of open racism, a lot of Civil War apologetics, it being the War of Northern Aggression versus it actually being about slavery. Is, if you go look at any of Lincoln's speeches, you can see that's exactly what it was about. There's a lot of attacks on critical race theory being taught in schools, diversity being taken out of education within schools. So I think that this is going to be interesting, and I think it's it seems like it's going to be done well.
Yeah.
A pretty important book to what we're going on through the kind of the misgivings of our country really effing up Reconstruction efforts.
Yeah. It's a series too.
It is?
Yeah. On the back it says on the back it says book 1
of Dreambird Chronicles. It is the first book of the Dream. You're taking my book and you're waving it all around
Sorry.
the planet,
I was waiting for Dolly to stop.
so I can't read what it's saying.
It says book 1 of the Dreambird Chronicles.
Okay, book 1 of the Dreambird Chronicles. Give me this back.
Alright, so lastly, that's your last book, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so lastly, what do you think will be your favorite book of the month next month?
I'm in between the Freedom Race and the Children of Time. Though I think all of these have really interesting premises, obviously, or I wouldn't be reading them. I'm not someone who, I mean, I have to read a bunch of stuff that I don't want to when I'm in school. I know I always tend to like most everything I read, because I like stories quite a bit, but I think probably either Freedom Race or Children of Time. What about you?
I think mine will probably be These Hollow Vows. Either that or One Last Stop would be my guess. But I don't know. I guess we'll see at the end of August.
I guess we will.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching this. Thank you so much for all the support you've given us. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe. Really helps us out because we're a new channel. So yeah, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.